weekend at Shadow Vale. I've always craved a weekend off the grid, so when my coworker Sam scored a rental in Shadow Vale, a cabin buried in a valley 4 hours west, I leapt at it. It was a steal, hidden among cliffs and brambles. No cell service, just raw escape. We hit the road Friday noon, his Jeep bouncing over dirt tracks, me grinning at the freedom ahead. I planned to read, hike, and ditch the city buzz. I didn't expect the Vale to hum back, or that it'd refuse to let us go. We arrived at dusk, the cabin a squat hulk, logs weathered, roof mossy, windows dull against the valley's gloom. Shadows stretched long, cliffs looming, and the air hung still. Too still, no rustle, just a faint tang of wet stone. Sam clapped, roughing it, "Huh, Lila?" And I forced a smile, unease nibbling as we hauled in bags, a lantern, and a cooler. Inside was sparse. Plank floors, a rusted stove, a loft ladder, and a note. "Stay inside at night," scratched in pencil. Night dropped fast, dark pooling thick, and we lit the lantern. Warm glow, chili simmering on a camp stove, the radio dead, no signal. At 9 p.m., the tapping began, soft, uneven, on the walls like twigs brushing. I peeked out. Nothing, just brambles clawing the panes. And Sam shrugged. "Critters, probably." We ate, the lantern flickering, but the tapping grew. Rapping now, sharp, circling the cabin. I bolted the door, nerves jangling, and a hum started low from the ground, like a throat clearing. I chuckled, spooky acoustics. But Sam's eyes darted, and the rapping turned to bangs. Heavy, deliberate on the loft hatch. We grabbed flashlights, climbed, air dank, loft empty save for dust and a cracked mirror. And my beam caught nothing, just beams and dark. The banging stopped, silence choking, and a whisper rasped, "Stay inside." From below, "Not us." Sam hissed, "What's that?" And we scrambled down, the hatch slamming shut, unpooled. The lights dimmed at 10, lantern fading, stove cooling, and the bangs shifted, outside, slow, pacing the walls. I texted my mom. No bars, phone blank, and the hum roared, "Stay inside." My voice, twisted, from the floor. The windows fogged, wet, streaking, and I grabbed a hatchet, Sam a shovel, hearts thudding. The planks creaked, bending, dirt sifting, and my beam caught it. A shadow, hunched, drifting past the glass, trailing mud. The lantern died at 11. Black, sudden, and footsteps scraped. Inside, heavy, from the loft stairs. I barricaded the bedroom door with a trunk, Sam cursing, and the static flared, "Stay inside!" His voice, pleading, from the walls. My flashlight wavered, catching a shape low, smeared, swaying by the stove, trailing earth. The whisper hissed, "You're inside," and the trunk jolted, shoved, cracking, as fingers, dark, clumped, clawed through the gap. I swung the hatchet, air, nothing, and the window trembled, fog parting, the shape outside, rapping slow. Sam yelled, "The Jeep!" And we ran, trunk splintering, down the hall, front door ajar, bolt bent, and hit the Jeep, keys slipping, engine choking. The cabin glowed, stove alive, shadow in the loft, and my phone buzzed, photos. Us hiking, us cooking, us now, the shape behind. The hum screamed, "Stay inside," and the brambles twisted, too fast, alive, tendrils brushing the tires. I floored it, dirt flying, the Vale shrinking in fog, eyes glinting in the cliffs. We hit a truck stop, shaking, called Sam's brother. Line clear, him racing over. "You good?" I spilled it, bangs, shapes, hands, he promised backup. Cops swept the cabin next day. Fine. No mud. No host traced, just our stuff scattered. They blamed drifters, a prank. We nodded, blank. We crashed at Sam's, ditched the wilds, but last night, the floor hummed, "Stay inside." My reflection in his window showed it, smeared, trailing behind me, and my keys were damp, Vale dirt caked, though I'd left them clean. The hum's louder, a scrape in the walls, and Sam's muttering, Inside, his phone buzzing with us, typed by hands not ours. The weekend at Raven's Crest. I've always jumped at the chance to escape the daily slog, so when my friend Tara pitched a weekend getaway to Raven's Crest, a chalet perched high in the mountains, I was sold. It was a last-minute deal, cheap for its isolation, an hour's climb past winding roads and jagged peaks. We left Friday noon, my hatchback packed with snacks and blankets, Tara humming beside me. I figured we'd hike, sip cocoa, and breathe the thin air. I didn't expect the crest to breathe back, or that we'd stumble into something waiting. The chalet loomed at dusk. Timber walls, steep roof, windows glinting like eyes against the ridge. Snow dusted the ground, pines clawing the sky, and the silence hit hard. No birds, no wind, just our boots crunching. Tara grinned. Cozy, right, Jess? And I nodded, though the air stung, sharp with frost and decay. We hauled our gear inside. Plank floors, a wood stove, a loft above, and a note on the counter. Welcome. Don't leave the trail. In tight cursive. Night fell fast, stars sharp, and we lit the stove, flames dancing, the radio spitting static. No signal, just noise. At 8 p.m., the creaking started, slow, rhythmic, from the roof, like ice settling. I peeked out. Snow still, pines unmoving, and Tara shrugged. Old place, settling. We cooked, soup simmering, bread toasting, and the creak shifted sharper to the walls circling us. I locked the door, unease prickling, and the static hummed. Stay in. I laughed, creepy radio. But Tara's smile faltered, and the creaking grew. Knocking now deliberate on the loft hatch, we grabbed flashlights, climbed the ladder. Air colder, attic bare but for cobwebs, and my beam caught nothing, just rafters and dust. The knocking stopped, silence thick, and a whisper slipped through. Stay in, low, from the floor below. Tara whispered, what the hell? And we bolted down, the hatch slamming shut, unpooled. The lights flickered at 10, stove dimming, and the knocking turned to thuds. Outside, heavy, pacing the perimeter. I texted my sister. No bars, phone dead, and the hum roared. Stay in. Tara's voice, warped from the static. The windows frosted, ice cracking inside, and I grabbed a poker, Tara a skillet, pulses racing. The floor trembled, boards bowing, snow seeping, and my beam caught it. A shadow too tall, swaying past the glass, trailing frost. The power cut at 11. Black, sudden, and footsteps crunched. Inside, slow, from the loft stairs. I barricaded the bedroom door with a trunk, Tara panting, and the static screamed, stay in! My voice, pleading, from the walls. My flashlight flickered, catching a shape, bent, white, drifting by the stove, trailing ice. The whisper hissed, you're in, and the trunk scraped, shoved, splintering, as fingers long frozen, clawed through the gap. I swung the poker, air, nothing, and the window rattled, frost blooming, the shape outside now, tapping slow. Tara yelled, the car! And we ran, trunk crashing, down the stairs, front door ajar, lock snapped, and hit the hatchback, keys shaking, engine coughing. The chalet glowed, stove alive, shadow in the loft, and Tara's phone buzzed. Photos. Us hiking, us eating, us now, the shape behind. The hum chanted, stay in, and the pines bent, too far, snapping, branches clawing the roof. I floored it, snow flying, the crest fading in fog, eyes glinting in the trunks. We hit a diner, trembling, called Tara's dad. Line clear, him speeding up. You safe? I spilled it. Knocks, shapes, hands, he promised to meet us. Cops swept the chalet next day. Fine, no frost, no host listed, just our gear tossed. They blamed hikers, a prank, we nodded, numb. We crashed at Tara's, ditched the mountains, but last night, the floor creaked. Stay in. My reflection in her mirror showed it, white, bent, behind behind me, and my keys were iced, snow-streaked, though I'd left them warm. The hum's louder, a rasp in the walls, and Tara's muttering, "In the trail," her phone buzzing with us, typed by hands not ours. The weekend at Lake Whisper. I've always dreamed of a quiet weekend away, so when my brother, Dan, booked a lakeside cottage for us last summer, I was thrilled. Lake Whisper was remote, 3 hours into the hills, a rental gem with a dock and no neighbors, perfect for fishing and beer. We hit the road Friday noon, windows down, laughing about old times. I figured we'd unwind, grill some steaks, escape the grind. I didn't expect the lake to listen, or that it'd keep us longer than we planned. We rolled up at dusk, the cottage squat and weathered. Peeling paint, shutters askew, perched on stilts over dark water. The lake stretched flat, a mirror under pines, fog curling at the edges. Dan clapped my shoulder. "Paradise, right, Mike?" And I nodded, though the quiet nod, too deep, no birds, no wind. We hauled in our gear, cooler, rods, a radio, and settled in. Creaky floors, a wood stove, windows streaked with grime. A note on the counter read, "Enjoy, don't swim after dark," and signed. Night came quick, fog thickening, and we fired up the stove, steak sizzling, radio crackling static, no stations, just noise. At 9 p.m., the lapping started, soft, rhythmic, against the stilts below. I glanced out, water black, rippling odd, like something brushed it, and Dan shrugged. "Fish, probably." We ate, the static humming low, and the lapping grew. Slapping now, insistent, shaking the floor. I checked the dock. Empty, fog swallowing the shore, and locked the door, unease prickling my spine. By 10, it wasn't lapping. It was knocking, slow, wet, from under the cottage, climbing the stilts. Dan grabbed a flashlight. "I'll look," and I trailed him. The beams slashing fog, water still but alive, eyes glinting deep. The knocking circled walls, floor, roof, and a hum started. "Stay under." Low, from the lake. Not us. I laughed, creepy-ass place. But Dan's face tightened, and we bolted inside, the radio blaring. "Stay under." My voice warped, unplugged. The lights flickered at 11, stove dimming, and the knocking turned to thuds, heavy, dragging under us. I texted Mom. No signal. Bars dead. And the hum roared, "Stay under." Dan's voice now, chanting through the static. The windows fogged, wet, dripping inside, and I grabbed a poker, Dan a knife, hearts racing. The floor buckled, boards creaking, water seeping, and my beam caught it. A handprint, too long, pressed to the glass, smearing down. The power cut at midnight. Black, thick, and footsteps sloshed. Inside, slow, from the hall. I barricaded the bedroom door with a chair, Dan cursing, and the static screamed, "Stay under!" Our voices pleading from the walls. My flashlight flickered, catching a shape, tall, slick, swaying by the stove, trailing weed. The whisper hissed, "You're under," and the chair scraped, pushed, cracking, as fingers, wet, webbed, clawed through the gap. I swung the poker, air, nothing, and the window rattled, fog parting, the shape outside now, tapping slow. Dan yelled, "The car!" And we ran, chair splintering, down the hall, front door ajar, lock bent, and hit the truck, keys shaking, engine coughing. The cottage glowed, stove alive, shadow in the doorway, and my phone buzzed, photos. Us fishing, us eating, us now, the shape behind. The hum chanted, "Stay under," and the lake rippled, too fast, alive, tendrils brushing the tires. I floored it, gravel flying, the shore fading in fog, eyes glinting in the water. We hit a gas station, panting, called Dad, line clear, him frantic, "You okay?" I spilled it, knocks, shapes, hands, he sped equals drove up. Cops swept the cottage next day. Fine. No prints, no host found, just our stuff tossed. They blamed squatters, a prank. We nodded, hollow. We stayed at Dan's, ditched the trip, but last night, the sink hummed, "Stay under." My reflection in the glass showed it, slick, swaying behind me, and my keys were wet, lake mud streaked, though I'd left them dry. The hum's louder, a splash in the walls, and Dan's muttering, "Under," his phone buzzing with us, typed by hands not ours. The weekend at Pine Hollow. I've always craved a break from the city grind, so when my girlfriend, Leah, found a cabin rental online for a weekend getaway, I was all in. Pine Hollow was a steal, secluded, nestled in the woods 2 hours north, a rustic retreat with no Wi-Fi, just us and nature. We packed light, hit the road Friday dusk, and I figured we'd hike, cook, maybe stargaze. I didn't expect the woods to watch us, or that we'd leave with less than we brought. The drive was smooth, tires humming on asphalt, then crunching gravel as we wound into the forest. The cabin emerged, log walls, mossy roof, porch sagging under pines that loomed too close. Leah grinned, "Perfect," and I nodded. Though the air felt heavy, pine scent sharp with rot. We unloaded, bags, cooler, a flashlight, and stepped inside. Wood floors creaking, a stone fireplace, windows fogged with age. A note on the table read, "Enjoy your stay, stay on the path," in spidery scrawl. Night fell fast, stars smothered by branches, and we lit a fire, the crackle cozy against the quiet. At 9 p.m., the scratching started soft, erratic, on the porch boards. I peeked out. Nothing, just shadows swaying. And Leah laughed, "Raccoons, babe." I locked the door, shrugged it off, and we cooked, burgers sizzling, wine flowing. But at 10, it wasn't scratching. It was tapping, slow, deliberate, on the bedroom window upstairs. We froze, forks midair, and I grabbed the flashlight, Leah trailing me. The stairs groaned, air chilling as we climbed, and the tapping circled, window to wall to roof. The bedroom was bare. 2 cots, a dresser, glass streaked with dirt, and my beam caught nothing outside, just pines pressing in. Leah whispered, "Wind," but the night was still, no breeze. The tapping stopped, silence thick, and a hum started low, from the floor, like a voice trapped in the wood. I stomped, hollow, echoing, and the hum sharpened. "Stay off." I laughed, shaky. "Old cabins, huh?" But Leah's eyes widened, and we bolted downstairs, fire flickering low. The hum followed, threading the walls, and the front door rattled, locked, knob cold. I texted the host. No signal, bars gone, and Leah's phone buzzed, screen blank but whispering, "Stay off." The lights dimmed, bulbs buzzing, and a thud hit. Outside, heavy, circling the cabin, footsteps crunching pine needles. We grabbed knives from the kitchen, hearts pounding, and the windows fogged breath, not ours, smearing slow. I yelled, "Who's there?" And the thudding stopped, the hum roaring, "Stay off." My voice warped from the fireplace. The flue clattered, open, ash raining, and Leah screamed, "Something's up there." My beam slashed the chimney, black, empty, but the ash moved, swirling, forming prints on the hearth, too small, too many fingers. The power cut at midnight, dark swallowing us, and the footsteps returned, inside now, pacing the hall. I barricaded the bedroom door with the dresser, Leah sobbing, and the static flared, "Stay off!" Her voice, pleading, from the walls. My flashlight caught it, a shape outside, low, scuttling, trailing roots or hair, tapping the glass. The whisper hissed, "You're off," and the dresser scraped, pushed slow, with splintering his hands. Pale, knotted, clawed through. I swung the knife, air, nothing, and the window shattered, cold rushing in, the shape gone. We ran, dresser crashing, down the stairs, front door ajar, lock twisted, and hit the car, keys shaking, engine dead. The cabin loomed, fire glowing again, and Leah's phone buzzed, photos. Us sleeping, us cooking, us now, the shape behind. The hum screamed, "Stay off," And the pines bent. Too far, alive, branches clawing the roof. I hotwired it. Thank God. And we tore out, gravel spitting, the woods shrinking in the mirror, eyes glinting among the trunks. We hit a motel, shaking, called the cops. Cabin fine, they said, no prints, no host on record. They blamed vandals, exhaustion. We nodded, numb. We crashed at Leah's sister's, ditched the trip, but last night, the floor hummed, stay off. My reflection in her window showed it, scuttling, trailing, behind me, and my keys were on the dash, pine needles stuck, though I'd left them inside. The hum's louder, a chant in the walls, and Leah won't wake, muttering, off the path. Her phone buzzing with us, typed by hands not ours.